Welcome to the 2026 PGA Show. For those of you standing around checking out the amazing virtual golf graphics, the brand new Biomech segment, we've also got a special treat for you here today. We've got our product owner, Jakob Munk, who will be joining us on the virtual golf side, and Tom Ferrell on the Dream Golf side, talking about their partnership with Trackman. But I'd love for you both to introduce yourselves. So Jakob Munk, if you could.
My name is Jakob. I am head of product for Trackman Indoor Golf. I've been with Trackman for the past 7 years or so, and am in part responsible for what you see on the screens behind us.
My name's Tom Ferrell. I am VP of Media and Communications for Dream Golf. I've been in the golf business since simulated golf was actually called visualization in your mind. And I'm very happy to be here with Trackman today.
Tom, thank you so much for being here. But Jakob, I'd love to start off with a question for you. I mean, we're seeing these amazing graphics behind us of some of the most premier properties in the world. Please help me understand, as well as the crowd, what was the vision behind creating such a premium library?
Well, in working with golf clubs, amazing golf clubs all over the world, that have spent time over the years refining what the actual course experience should be. Who would we be to not try to replicate that in our virtual world? So it was all about trying to replicate the experience as accurately as possible. Trackman stands for accuracy, and that also applies to the way that we re-render the actual real-world courses in our virtual library. So
use the term real. Realism is a thing we talk a lot about at Trackman.
Yeah.
Help us understand, what's the secret to this realism?
Well, it comes all the way down to the whole process from sending out drone pilots with highly accurate drone capture of the courses, be it the three-dimensional landscape, be it tons of pictures from the courses. That is the source that we take into our 3D team, that then use that source to replicate the courses in accuracy down to a few centimeters or half inches or whatever you should say.
Well, thank you. Yes, definitely need to stay in Imperial here. But no, thank you for that. But now, I mean, that's just broadly what we're talking about. But then there's properties such as Bandon. I mean, How do you go about actually building out Bandon Dunes in a virtual environment?
Well, first and foremost, we gotta thank Bandon for being great partners of Trackman. That's where it all starts, and a dialogue with the courses and the people who care about the details of the courses are in direct contact with our content team, our design teams, and that collaboration is really the key, first and foremost. And then it's about being back and forth for some time, offering our versions of their course. And getting feedback from those courses, and we are partnering up to get the most accurate representation in a virtual world of the course that of course the owners of the golf courses are super proud of. And Dream Golf is something else. It's a caliber in itself, and Bandon is one of my favorite courses, not only in the library but in the world, and I hope I get to play there once in the real world.
Well, you're not alone in loving Bandon. So Tom, I've got one for you actually on that topic. Right, I mean, Jakob talks about all the energy that takes to put something like this together. But what was your first reaction when you got to see Bandon in life?
Well, I think the goal of any simulation technology, any modeling technology, is to make the technology almost disappear, right? And you slip easily into that state of realism. And when I first went out, I went down to South Broadway Country Club in Denver to kind of demo the first iteration, and I was absolutely blown away. I mean, I know Bandon well. Our VP of branding and marketing, Olivia Herrick, is right out here in the crowd, and she actually was able to install this in her home. And so I'd gotten a little bit of a preview from her enthusiasm. And it was just absolutely amazing. I mean, I know these courses very, very well. And the level of detail and the level of surrounding kind of atmospheric detail is just amazing. right? It's one thing to get the golf hole right. It's another thing to get the scale and how it feels around the golf hole right. And that's what Trackman, that's the genius of Trackman. I will also say the editing process, the feedback process is unbelievable. They will not leave you alone. They will not accept your feedback until it is exhaustive, and it really shows in the product.
It's amazing for you to say that, and frankly, we're just so proud of what we were able to create together, because that feedback really is instrumental in defining and developing everything we're able to do. And so that's your feedback. I don't want to say it was biased, because obviously you've got the love and the passion there. But let's talk about the players. I mean, the folks that have been able to enjoy this in a sim, that know your properties just so well.
So with Bandon, with Sand Valley, with these other great courses and clubs that I'm watching rotate through the show here, in a lot of cases it's very difficult to either get to them or to access them at all, right? In the case of Oakmont or something like that. These are the most unique challenges ever built in the game of golf. And so for people to have another way of enjoying that, it can become an aspirational thing where people play indoor golf and want to get on to, come to one of our resorts or St. Andrews or whatnot. They become inspired through this, which is an amazing process. It can be simply two guys enjoying themselves in the winter and playing something that has visual impact and meaning to them. It can be someone who's working on their game, and if you're going to go to St. Andrews, you're going to go to Bandon, you're going to go to Sand Valley. There are certain shots that are going to behoove you very well, and to be able to go out and practice them regardless of the weather and practice them on the venues where you're going, it's really it kind of blows the mind actually. I've watched this industry develop for a long time, and to get to where we are, I mean, I'm standing by Old Head right now. And if you've been to Old Head, this is giving you Old Head vibes, right? So.
Without a doubt. And for most of us, the only way we heard about these properties was the lore, the stories.
Right.
And now we're getting to actually experience it, which is just a completely new way to create these digital golf pilgrims, people who truly want to make the journey to come visit you guys. But one thing I'm curious, you talk about the vibes. I mean, so much of what these properties are walkable properties. So much of the experience is walking the fairways. I mean, you talked about the atmospheric setup. I mean, how do you feel like we are able to create that from a digital environment?
Well, the level of detail, the level of topographic detail is incredible. So the ball does that for you. The movement of the ball when it lands on a Trackman simulator gives you that feel. I mean, it just converts to your feet automatically, right? And so at Bandon, you're going up and your shot goes up, maybe hits the false front, comes down. You experience that elevation, right? You may not take your 15,000 steps, but in your mind you do. Your mind doesn't know the difference, right? I think it's all about the performance and the detail of the graphic environment itself that gives you that sense of actually being on the property.
Without a doubt, that term realism, right? And Jakob, I want to come back to you now, right? I mean, you talk about all the great things you've been able to create. Tom has then been able to experience that. This is 2026. So what's next?
I think revealing too much is not my thing here, but I will say that taking the experience of playing virtual golf outside of a 2D screen and into a three-dimensional world is probably setting the stage pretty well. That's the path that we're on. We're happy to say that we have a integration with the Zen swing stage that we're showing at the show this week. So for those who are interested in trying to feel the topography of the course, what that is like playing from an inclined lie, that's something to try at the Zen booth. That's the first step in that direction that we're but graphics are always a constant thing that we want to improve as well. physics. We can always improve physics. We have Frederick Tuxen, who is the guy there to represent physics, and that's also a part that I didn't mention before. But creating the realism is also, I mean, we have to live up to Tom and other people who understand what a ball reaction should do when you maybe miss the green on the right side. They know what the ball will do if you miss the green there, and we take pride in trying to replicate that feeling down to the last centimeter or inch again.
Well, the realism is not going to be missed on anyone who steps into a Trackman simulator and gets to experience any of the Dream Golf properties. But Tom, I've got one for you here. For a course that might be considering this, right? The idea of entering the library. What are your thoughts?
Well, we did not do it. We made active decisions not to embrace any of the simulator technology. We were invited by a number of companies. And ultimately, the ownership, the Kaisers, felt comfortable with the family ownership of Trackman. That was important to them. They felt like there was some heart involvement in this. B, when we saw the abilities that Trackman had developed, which in our eye took Trackman far and above the other opportunities out there, we felt like we had a partner that could truly represent these properties and these golf holes that we consider, our work. That's what we do, is provide that experience to golfers. When we were sure that Trackman could partner with us and provide a similar experience of our properties to golfers, that's when we were all in, and that's where we stand today.
Well, we thank you so much for partnering with us and trusting us. Most importantly, I know that Jakob and his team has poured every heart, ounce of their soul into making these properties a fair reflection of everything that you've done. But one I've got for Jakob, just as he kind of wraps up, what is the ambition, right? I mean, I'm talking about what's next, but really, where do you want to take virtual golf as a whole? And let's call it 5 years.
Well, I think one element that we have in our advantage in an indoor environment is something that you can't do in an outdoor environment. Everything in a virtual world is in our hands, really. So I'm super passionate about bridging, the tour experience. We are, the proud providers of data and tracers on all the major tours. And having that access to that tour player data and being allowed to potentially bring that into a virtual golf world, that triggers some excitement in the teams. So let's see where that takes us. And of course the graphics, as I said, it's a constantly evolving world with new barriers being set all the time. And I mean, we have the ambition to always be the ones that create the most immersive experience. Also in the graphics quality.
Well, there's a lot to be said there. A lot of excitement, I would say, in the vision that's getting painted there, Jakob, and a lot more to come. But one last question I've got is for Tom, actually. And we talk about these folks that are being inspired. They're seeing Bandon, Sand Valley, and they're excited about the opportunity to play those places. How do you see virtual golf as a whole, as an opportunity to actually create more of these, digital golf pilgrims to visit the properties?
It's an interesting question, Alex, and the reason is because now we have a professional model for this, the TGL thing, right? So the validation, regardless of what we think about the graphics or the structure, the way that it's done, the fact that we have the TGL league, it validates indoor golf. But so now I know the club I'm a member at in Denver has a indoor match play championship, right? And we're seeing that over and over. I can see the day when there are club versus simulator club matches.
The inner club, right?
Yeah, the inner
taking
club.
Me back to my days as a member, yeah.
It's really an amazing thing, and so as Jakob talks about integrating actual 3D experience into the simulated round, the putting, right? If we get to that point, And again, TGL led on this, right? If you get to the point where you hit your shot and you go up and actually face the putt, now you are feeling the contour in your feet, right? It's becoming even more real. And we hope, we want everybody who wants to be able to play golf on these wonderful golf courses that we have and that others have, to be able to play golf. If the most expedient way to do that is to enter that world via indoor golf, we support it, right? We also, we're installing the Trackman tracers on our range at Sand Valley.
The Trackman range product, yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
And so we're very excited about that. Very excited to give our guests on site to bring that indoor golf out, in a sense. So I think there's a lot of opportunity here.
There's this digital age that we're entering, and the amazing realism that gets to be experienced by golfers everywhere. We're hoping we'll bring more people to the golf courses, more people back into the simulators, and hopefully they're the ones that are willing to take the flight or make the trip. And really that experience that pulls them and their friends together is going to be golf. Doesn't matter where it begins, if it's a simulator or even an idea. But Tom, we just want to say from everyone at Trackman, thank you so much for the partnership. Thank you so much for trusting us to render your golf courses. And thanks for spending some time with us today.
It's been our pleasure. Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, Tom.